Okay. I need to talk about something that has been eating me alive, and I feel kind of embarrassed about it because I know it sounds dramatic, but it is genuinely affecting my daily life.
There is nothing to be embarrassed about what is going on.
So I have been consumed by climate anxiety, like, fully consumed. I read every report. I follow every activist account. I know the parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I know the ocean temperature anomalies. I know which ice sheets are collapsing and how fast. And I cannot stop. Every time a new report comes out, I read the whole thing. And then I lie awake at 3 in the morning running scenarios in my head about what the world looks like in 20 years, in 50 years.
That sounds exhausting.
It is, and it has gotten worse. I cannot enjoy a sunny day anymore without thinking about global warming. I cannot eat a meal without calculating the carbon footprint. I had a panic attack last week because I read that we passed another tipping point, and the worst part, Michael, the absolute worst part, is that I am so overwhelmed that I am not actually doing anything. I am not volunteering. I am not donating. I am not even recycling consistently anymore. I am just sitting in my apartment drowning in guilt and dread. I feel guilty for existing.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You said you feel guilty for existing. You said you are drowning in dread, and you also said you are not actually doing anything useful. So here is my question. Is the dread helping the planet?
No, obviously not. But I cannot just stop caring.
I am not asking you to stop caring. I would never ask you that. What I am saying is that right now, you are trying to hold the entire ocean, every report, every data point, every worst-case scenario for the entire planet, and the weight of it has pinned you to the floor. You are so crushed by the size of the problem that you cannot move, and a person who cannot move cannot help anyone. You know, about 1900 years ago, there was a man who faced a version of this problem that makes climate anxiety look manageable. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he was responsible for the survival of the entire Roman Empire.
Right, the emperor.
The emperor. And when I say he had problems, I mean real problems. There was a plague sweeping through the empire, killing millions of people. There were wars on multiple borders, famine in the provinces, generals betraying him. His own co-emperor had just died, possibly poisoned, and every single day, reports arrived on his desk describing suffering on a scale that is hard to even imagine, millions of lives depending on his decisions.
Oh my God, and he could not just log off. He could not close the app. That was his actual life.
He could not close the app, and here is what is remarkable. Instead of being crushed by it, instead of being paralyzed the way you are describing, he developed a specific mental technique. He wrote about it in his journal, The Meditations. He called it, Looking Down from Above. He wrote, Look down from above on the countless gatherings and countless ceremonies, and every sort of voyage and storm and calm, and consider the differences among those being born, living together, and dying.
Wait, so he would mentally zoom out? Like above everything?
Exactly. He would close his eyes and imagine rising above his situation, above the battlefield, above Rome, above the empire, until he could see the entire sweep of human life from a great height. All the births and deaths, all the wars and peace treaties, all the civilizations that rose and fell, and from that height. Something shifted. The problems did not disappear, but they became proportional. He could see them clearly instead of being buried inside them.
So it is not about pretending the problems do not exist. It is about seeing them from a different angle.
That is exactly right, and Seneca described something very similar in his Natural Questions. He wrote about the soul ascending above the earth and looking down on human affairs. He said that from that height, the things humans fight over, the borders, the possessions, the status, they look different, not smaller but clearer. You can see what actually matters and what is just noise.
Not smaller but clearer, I like that distinction, because I do not want to minimize climate change. It is real, it is serious.
And you should not minimize it. The view from above is not about dismissal, it is about proportion. Let me show you what I mean. Can we try something right now?
Oh, like right now? Okay, yeah, let us do it.
Close your eyes. Picture yourself in your apartment. It is 3 in the morning. You are reading a climate report on your phone, the blue light on your face, the weight in your chest. Feel that for a moment.
Yeah, I know that feeling very well.
Now rise above it, float up through the ceiling of your apartment. See your building from outside. See the other windows. Some are dark, some have lights on, other people awake at 3 in the morning with their own worries. Now rise higher. See your neighborhood, your city, the grid of streets and lights stretching out in every direction. Millions of people, each carrying something heavy. Now higher still, see your country from above. The coastlines, the mountains, the rivers, and beyond that, the curve of the earth, the blue and white marble hanging in darkness from here. You cannot see the borders, you cannot see the politics, you cannot see the arguments. You see one planet, one home, and you see that it has survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, mass extinctions, and 5 billion years of change. It is still here. Now, from that height, ask yourself one question. What can you actually do today? Not what can you worry about, not what can you feel guilty about. What can you actually do? One specific thing, and then open your eyes and come back down to your apartment. But this time, you are not drowning. You are standing, and you have one clear action in your hand.
Wow, that was okay. That actually shifted something. Because when I was up there, looking down, the anxiety did not disappear, but it got quieter. And the question, what can I actually do today? That cut through everything, because the answer is so much simpler than what I have been carrying.
What is the answer? What can you actually do today?
I mean, I could sign up for that local river cleanup I have been meaning to join for months. I could switch to the renewable energy plan my utility company offers. I could call my representative about the emissions bill. Those are real things, specific things.
And notice what just happened 2 minutes ago. You were paralyzed by the weight of the entire planet. Now you have 3 concrete actions. That is the power of the view from above. It does not tell you to care, lest it tells you to see more clearly. And here is the hard truth that I think you already know. Drowning in dread is not activism, it is paralysis. The planet does not benefit from your panic attacks at 3 in the morning. The planet benefits from you showing up on Saturday to clean that river.
Drowning in dread is not activism. Oh my God, I need that tattooed on my forehead. Because I have been telling myself that the anxiety means I care, like if I stop feeling terrible, it means I have given up.
That is one of the most common traps. The belief that suffering is the same as caring. It is not suffering without action, it's just suffering. Caring with action is contribution. Marcus Aurelius cared deeply about the millions of people in his empire, but he did not sit in his tent weeping about the plague. He organized supply lines, he deployed doctors, he reformed burial practices, he acted specifically on what was within his power, and he released the rest.
He released the rest. That is the part I cannot do. How do you release the rest, when the rest is the entire planet?
Well, let me think about that. Marcus wrote something in Book 12 of the Meditations that I think answers your question. He said, "How small a part of the boundless and unfathomable time is assigned to every man." And he was not saying that to be depressing. He was saying it to be freeing. You have a finite amount of time and a finite amount of energy. That is not a limitation. That is a compass. It tells you where to point your effort. You cannot save the entire planet. Nobody can, but you can do your part with clarity and purpose, and that is not giving up. That is wisdom.
Finite energy as a compass, okay. So the view from above is not about caring less. It is about caring smarter. Care deeply, act specifically, release the rest.
Care deeply, act specifically, release the rest. That is it. That is the entire practice in one sentence.
Okay, so this connects to something bigger, right? Because I do not think climate anxiety is the only version of this. I see people drowning in political anxiety, in economic anxiety, in just general existential dread about the state of the world.
You are absolutely right. This is the anxiety of 2025 and 2026, a generation that has access to every crisis on the planet in real time, delivered straight to their phone 24 hours a day. We know about every wildfire, every conflict, every injustice, every data point of decline, and our brains were not built for that. We evolved to handle the problems of our village, not the problems of 8 billion people simultaneously.
Right, our brains are running village software on a global network.
That is a perfect way to put it, and the view from above is the upgrade. It does not disconnect you from the network, it gives you a filter. It helps you see the whole picture and then choose where to focus your finite energy, not everywhere, not on everything, on the specific actions that are within your power.
Okay, so give me the practice. How do I do this when I am spiraling at 3 in the morning?
I call it the 60-second view from above, and it is exactly what we just did together, but compressed into a practice you can do anywhere, anytime. Here is how it works when you feel crushed by a problem bigger than you, whether it is climate change, politics, the economy, anything that feels too big to carry. Stop, close your eyes, and take 60 seconds.
Just 60 seconds.
Just 60 seconds. Step 1. Rise above for the first 20 seconds. Mentally zoom out above your room, above your city, above the planet. See the Earth from space. See the billions of people. See the thousands of years of human history. Civilizations that rose and fell, crises that seemed world-ending and were survived.
Okay, 20 seconds to zoom out.
Step 2. Restore proportion for the next 20 seconds. Hold that cosmic view and ask yourself, in the context of my entire life, what actually deserves my energy right now? Not my worry, not my guilt, my energy. What specific action can I take today that moves the needle, even slightly, on something I care about? And step 3. Zoom back in for the final 20 seconds. Come back down. Back to the planet, back to your country, back to your city, back to your room. But now you are holding one specific action, not the weight of the world. One thing you can do today. Open your eyes and do it.
20 seconds up, 20 seconds to filter. 20 seconds back down with one action. That is so simple, but honestly, what we just did, the longer version, it genuinely changed how I felt. So I believe the 60-second version could work.
And here is the key. The view from above is not about caring less. I want to be very clear about that. It is about proportion, not dismissal. Climate change is real. Political dysfunction is real. Economic uncertainty is real. The view from above does not deny any of that. It says, given that these problems are real, and given that your time and energy are finite, where is the wisest place to invest yourself? That is not apathy. That is the deepest form of caring, because the person who acts with clarity helps more than the person who is paralyzed by dread.
The person who acts with clarity helps more than the person who is paralyzed by dread. Yeah, that is the thing I keep forgetting. My panic attacks are not helping anyone. My 3 in the morning doom scrolling is not reducing carbon emissions, but showing up to clean that river on Saturday actually is.
And that is enough. That is your part. Marcus Aurelius could not save every person in his empire from the plague, but he could organize the response. He could show up every one day and do his part with excellence, and that is what he did, not because it solved everything, but because it was the right thing to do with the time and energy he had.
Hey, quick pause before we wrap up. If you are enjoying this conversation, take a second to hit the like button. It really helps more people find Stoic wisdom. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is a great time. We genuinely read every single comment, so let us know what you are thinking. Okay, back to it. Okay, I feel lighter already. Let me try to capture what just happened.
Go ahead.
Number 1. The view from above is a Stoic meditation, where you mentally zoom out from your immediate situation to the cosmic scale, not to minimize your problems, but to restore proportion and clarity. Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly, looking down on countless gatherings and ceremonies to see the patterns of human life from above. Problems are not smaller, they are clearer. Number 2. Drowning in anxiety about global problems is not activism, it is paralysis. Your panic attacks are not reducing carbon emissions. Your 3 in the morning doom scrolling is not saving the planet. The Stoic move is to zoom out for perspective, then zoom back in to the specific actions within your control. Number 3. Your time and energy are finite. That is not a limitation, it is a compass. It tells you where to point your effort. Care deeply, act specifically, release the rest. And number 4. The 60-second view from above is a daily reset. 20 seconds to zoom out. 20 seconds to ask what specific action deserves your energy today. 20 seconds to come back down with one clear purpose proportion, not dismissal. Clarity, not apathy.
That was perfect, and Ruth, I want you to know something: the fact that you care this much about the planet. That is not a weakness, that is justice, one of the 4 cardinal virtues. The problem was never that you cared too much. The problem was that the caring had no direction. Now it does.
I think I needed to hear that. I have been treating my anxiety like proof that I am a good person. But you are right. The proof is in the action, not the suffering.
Try the 60-second view from above tonight, and on Saturday, go clean that river.
If this episode helped you see your problems from a different angle, follow Stoicism mentality wherever you are listening. We will see you in the next one.